Our next guest is another entrepreneur, but a lawyer who's an entrepreneur. We have Damian Turco from Mass Injury Law Firm. Welcome, Damian.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's good to be here.
I'm not used to seeing law firms that use that have named their firm almost from a marketing position.
Right.
Versus the name of the lawyers. You want to sort of go into the origins of the firm and what's going on?
Sure. Yeah. No. That's. I would say that there's a trend out there in the marketplace that's been growing over the past 5 years that I've seen more actual names that would reflect what the firm does, or more generic names as opposed to just a list of people's last names in the law firms. So when I started, part of the reasoning that I did this was that I had sold my first firm. When I first started practicing, I practiced in Florida, down in Palm Beach, and I named the firm after myself, which was the logical move when I first started out. I built it up. I built it into a pretty, well-functioning going concern, 12 employees, and we were doing very well, very profitable. And I sold the firm, and the process of doing that was somewhat complicated in the sense that really all my goodwill was largely personal goodwill because my name was there.
Right.
And so that's part of the challenge of selling a law firm, is that you've built up this this machine that really is, can be very profitable, but if it has your name associated with it, even if other lawyers are doing a lot of the work or a substantial majority of the work, it's still difficult to transition that brand to another person. So I don't know that I will be selling this new firm, but I might, and I might want to sell it. And it would be far easier to sell something called Mass Injury Firm as opposed to, the law office of Damian Turco. We do all plaintiff's personal injury work, which means that we're representing people that have been injured basically due to the negligence of another person or a company, or to a defectively designed or manufactured product. That's all we do. Is the only clients we have are folks that have been injured because of someone else's negligence. So that would be categorized as plaintiff's personal injury law. And that's really, that's it from top to bottom. So many of those, so let me tell you about the business model
Absolutely.
Of personal injury law. So it's all contingent based work. So that means that the lawyer never takes money up front. And this is customary in Massachusetts.
Even for expenses?
Some lawyers will choose to take expense money,
right,
and pass the expense on to the client. We don't do that. I don't think that's consistent with the idea of contingent work. And I think
you're
that
completely success-based.
Exactly.
100% success-based.
We're success-based, and not only do we take the risk on of actually spending our time and doing the work on the file, but we will front the costs. So, and there are plenty of lawyers out there that will do exactly that, and there are plenty of lawyers that will say, look, we have to order this deposition. We want you to pay, $200, $300 for it. We need to get a voluminous amount of medical records. That bill's $150. We need you to pay this. I front all of that. So the risk is not just my time commitment, but it's actually putting money out of pocket.
But you also have to put a lot more time and due diligence into client selection.
That's exactly right.
Because,
yeah, that's exactly right.
Because, if somebody's been rejected from other law firms or they don't have any money,
yep,
you have to really vet to see what's the potential of the case,
right,
how much time it's going to take,
right,
what's the return on the investment, is
sure,
there insurance? I mean,
yep,
you've got to really do a lot of homework before you take a case, because
yeah,
you can't afford to go out of business either. You're banking on the long run.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I mean, you need the clients. First, you need to generate the business. You need the clients, right, to come in the door. The cases have to be, good,
clean.
We have to be able to recover on the case. There has to be a reasonable likelihood of recovery. And then we have to work the whole case through, which typically means we need to wait for the client to finish treating their medical issues and get back up to where they were before the accident. And then we're going to get the medical records, we're going to engage in a negotiation, we're going to send a demand, and if we can't get to a reasonable figure, we're going to litigate the case. So we're going to file a lawsuit, and then it's really just the beginning of a lawsuit. That can take time too. It can take years.